Welcome to Buzz Talk Business Show. Each episode, we bring you news and interviews with local businesses, discuss business tips and advice on how to get started or the best out of your business. Welcome to Buzz Talk Business Show.
Hello everyone, we are back at the Login Lounge in Camberley. Today I have Michael Jackson with me from Elite Sports Marketing and their headline on the website, Connecting Brands with Sports Sponsorships Opportunities Across the Globe. Hello Michael.
Hi Tammy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem at all.
So if you can explain to me, simplify, what is Elite Sports Marketing?
So Elite Sports Marketing is a sponsorship company. So we work with some of the biggest sports teams in the world. So think Premier League football, the Man Uniteds of this world, the Chelseas, etc. Championship football, League One, League Two. So the four biggest football leagues in the country. Mm-hmm. But we also work with rugby union, rugby league. We work with county cricket, but we also work with major European football teams. We work with American NFL, NBA, NHL, MLS.
You do other sports as well, don't you? Is it any now, is it? Or
yeah, so we work with American football, which is the NFL. We work with the NBA, which is basketball. So we're essentially global. We work with probably, I would say, somewhere in the region of 400 of the biggest teams in the world.
Wow.
And yeah, it's the company was started 6 years ago, so we're a reasonably young company. But I think what set us aside from a lot of our competitors was that we built an online platform where brands could go and actually see what was available globally, where before nothing like that had ever existed. Clubs were reaching out to brands directly, sending PowerPoints and PDF presentations, where we basically built, for lack of a better word, one of these comparison websites. It's probably best explained in that respect. And that just kind of set us apart from our competitors immediately. So we've done front of shirt deals. That's what most people will be aware of. The main sponsor on the front of a shirt. So we've done that in the Premier League and the Championship and League One. We've done New York Red Bulls sleeve in American soccer. We've done deals in rugby. We did a deal with England Rugby and Allianz. Allianz being one of the biggest insurance companies in the world. So, we've done quite a lot, but, we love what we do, right? We essentially get up, talk about sport all day and get paid for it. I mean, it's kind of like a dream job.
So a bit of a history on your side. You've always done a lot of sales throughout your life, and you were getting to a point thinking losing passion for certain other jobs and deciding what to do, and sports something you've always loved.
Yeah, and it was that simple. It was a case of, I ran a telemarketing company for 15 years, was good at it, and the business kind of took care of itself. But yeah, I just kind of said to myself one day, do I want to do this anymore? And if I don't, what do I want to do? Well, I know I'm good at sales and I love football. Maybe there's something there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I made a few phone calls, made a few friends within football, built up my knowledge, and then was off. So no experience, not worked for a sports club before, never worked in sponsorship before, but set up my own company and just...
It's grown massively, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Up until just 3 years ago, because you've got to remember, we also had a 2-year pandemic in the middle of all this as well.
Yeah.
We went from me up until 3 years ago to now we have a team of 10. And that covers obviously sales, but we also have Kelly who works who heads up our marketing department. We have a head of operations. So
you have people you have a couple. Am I right in thinking you've got a couple of people dotted around the globe?
Yeah. So we've got Antonio, who is based in Venezuela, who looks after North and South America. We've got Sudatro, who looks after Asia, essentially, who's based in India. But no one really is curtailed to their regions. A perfect example of that is Sudatro, based in India, was the main person behind the deal with New York Red Bulls. So, because sometimes it will be a brand in Asia, but a sports team in America, or vice versa. So everyone just digs in and chips in, and it's...
So how does it work? Did they contact you initially? In the beginning, I imagine you had to do some of the looking, obviously, to start with, but now do you get people coming to you?
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. So after we had a good COVID, right, in that we were doing quite a lot of deals during that period of time. And I think it was the deal between England Rugby and Allianz, because you've got a national rugby team, one of the best in the world, aligned with Allianz, one of the biggest insurance companies in the world. So that, I think people sort of took notice of that and said, okay, these guys must be good at what they do. And with that, building the platform that we built, that just changed things. So it went from us reaching out to brands and us reaching out to clubs to it kind of flipping into reverse. We still obviously go out there and reach out to new brands, but yeah, we get so many more brands coming to us now. And because we built up a really good reputation as well, because we don't inflate prices. The prices we are given by the clubs is what we tell the brands. We are not inflating prices like a lot of agencies tend to do.
Yeah.
So we're known to be honest and transparent. We back everything up with data. So it's not just a simple case of someone coming to us and saying, we want to be a front shirt of a Premier League football team. We'll say, okay, well, why?
Yeah.
What's important to you? What kind of customers are you looking for? And then we'll look at data. And then we'll be able to say, okay, if this is what you want to do, the best club to work with would be West Ham United, for example.
Because this is a good way of saying it, because they could go with something and you go, yeah, but you're not going to get a much benefit if you go down that route.
We'll be able to
say to them.
Yeah, we'll be able to say, as part of the research, we'll be able to say West Ham fans are 20% more likely to buy your product than any other fan group in the Premier League. They are 16% more likely to spend more than £50 a month, whatever it might be.
Right.
So we always back things up with data, because those are the long-term relationships. So we look past all the glitter and the glam of being a sponsor or a main sponsor of a Premier League football team, and actually look at the data, what's real, what is it going to benefit them, and is this going to be a long-term relationship? Because again, not only obviously are we helping the brand out by doing that, we're building a long-term relationship to them. So when that deal does come to an end, or they want to do something else, they're going to come back to us and say, that's been great, Mike. What's next?
What can we go on next? Is it different? Is it? Do you have set packages, or does it just depend on which sport you're wanting to go with?
No, it's pretty universal. If you just take football, rugby and cricket as an example, they all have a pitch, they all sell their shirts in retail, they all have hospitality. So to a large extent, they're very, very similar. It's obviously the size and scale of club and the size of the scale of the fan base, hence the reason why the cost of a Premier League front shirt is going to cost you millions. Championship is going to cost you hundreds of thousands. And then League One, League Two, it's more sort of top end of tens of thousands. But the assets, I think a lot of people, and this is an education process we go through with people, is that it isn't just a logo on a shirt. The package that you get with a deal is much bigger than that, and it's very much depending on what's important to you. You might say to me, all our business comes through social media. Okay, well then the club will post a lot of social media posts about your product or your service. You might say, actually, it's all handshakes, right? Really.
What works for that?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll add in more hospitality, so they can wine and dine people at the stadium and all the rest of it. The social media, you'll have seen in any sport, the interviews with the manager or the players after the game. There's backdrops and the logos are behind that. So, all these different kind of assets, hospitality, backdrops, LED.
We normally do that. We haven't got ours today, actually. We normally have one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that.
Well, this is it. So the LEDs around the pitch are the biggest pull for a lot of brands, because you're watching that football, rugby, cricket game, whatever it might be, whether you know it or not, you're seeing those logos.
You are. They're in there.
Because they're changing, they're flashing, so your eye kind of goes to it. So LED is a massive part of any deal that we do, but again, we will sit there and work out what's right for a client. We have clients in Asia. They're not coming to games every weekend, so hospitality makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
So again, we would work with the brand to decide what fits, what works for them, really.
And you've got some videos coming out at the minute explaining more details about what you do. You get the most frequently asked questions, which is very helpful, I imagine, for a lot of the people coming to you.
Yeah, because obviously we notice when people do come to us, we do get quite a lot of people saying, do we just get the logo? And just a whole bunch of random questions. What is the cost of these things? Yeah. So we started producing on LinkedIn videos explaining these exact things, the cost of a Premier League front of shirt. It wouldn't surprise most people that the top 6-7 clubs are looking at 25 million up to probably 85 million for their front of shirts. But then there's a dramatic drop to the rest of the Premier League, which ranges anywhere from 2.5 million up to about 8 or 9 million. So still lots of money.
And you help the Little Club as well, don't you? Help local, like your local
Yes.
Home One Fleet. You've done a lot there and help some charities as well.
Yeah,
Is that
so
right?
we are based in Fleet. Some of us are based in Fleet. And we sponsor Fleet Town Football Club. We are the main shirt sponsor for the women's teams. Very happy and proud about that. And we go watch them whenever we can. But we also bought the naming rights of the stadium. But we thought about it and thought, actually, Elite Sports Marketing Stadium sounds rubbish. Now I'm already connected with a charity called Mustard Seed, which is a charity that is based and helps children with autism in North Hampshire and Surrey. So we basically donated the naming rights to the stadium to them. So it's called the Mustard Seed Stadium. The club has done all kinds of fundraising activities, including a quiz night, etc.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and in fact, one amazing piece of it, that one of the fans of Fleet Town Football Club is also part of a charity, was made aware of the charity by the association with the football club, and their organisation donated £10,000, and that was like within 2 weeks of all this kicking off. So immediately there was that. We've been able to, Mustard Seed have had their whole image change, logo, everything, and that was done by one of the
It makes such a huge
associations
difference.
of the football club. Yeah, exactly. So all these things I would never have been able to do single-handedly. The club has been able to help because of the association that we've got with both the club and the charity. So we also support a lot of about 5 or 6 local football teams, including Yateley under 8, I think it is. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's Yateley under 8. But we work with another autistic football team as well called Shoot Academy. So we are asking people to spend thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds, and we felt we should be putting our money where our mouth was. But rather than doing that at Top Flight Football Club, we figured we would go local and
You're
go
giving back as
grassroots.
well. That's wonderful.
Yeah. No, it's good. We enjoy it.
Yeah, wonderful. Have you got any questions, Jack?
Yeah, I just want to ask about when you go, first of all, when you get in touch with like a big brand, especially when you're first starting out, how hard was that to get them to come and say, yeah, I'll do something with you?
Very hard. It was a 9 a.m. till 1 a.m. kind of hitting the numbers. And I always say to people, it is a numbers game. And then you get that first person saying, yep, we're interested. And then you sort of start working out, how did that happen? What did I do that made this guy come back and say yes? Was it something in my message? Was it something I said or whatever?
It's some of it word of mouth with this as well. Do you get recommendations through? Do they recommend to other?
Yeah, but back then it was solid. LinkedIn, I tell people LinkedIn is the most amazing sort of so business networking platform in the world, because where else could you just simply connect with the head of global sponsorship for Coca-Cola? There is nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And so we over a long period of time, I built my connections over several years. And even if I like a perfect example, we work with a company called SpreadX. They're a UK betting company. We did their front of shirt in the Premier League with Burnley and their current front of shirt, which in the Championship with Sunderland. But we spoke to them and we said, we've got this platform. Do you want to be on it? And they said, yeah. So we added into the platform so we could see all the opportunities we had, and it's obviously updated all the time. And heard nothing from him for about 12 months. And I remember thinking, we're not getting any activity here.
Yeah.
Is it really relevant for him to be on the platform? Should we take him off? And then one day, genuinely, I get an email from him saying, hi, Mike, how the devil are you? And before I read any more, I thought, who emails that, right? I mean, that's really joyful and happy. And long story short, he said, look, we're looking for a Premier League front and shirt. What's available? And within 7 hours, we decided heads of terms with Burnley for a Premier League front and shirt worth millions of pounds.
Oh, it's a quick turnaround as well.
So it does happen like that. We have people we speak to on a regular basis. There are, we've just, it has come from that initial grind of getting out there, reaching out to people. And then as we've done more deals, we get more recognition for that. More people see what we're doing. We educate people, with the videos, because a lot of people just have no ideas. We get a lot of.
I was one of them.
Yeah,
literally.
Well, I think once you kind of watch the videos and kind of get a better understanding of what we do. Because I think a lot of people are interested because everyone knows people who are football fans, rugby fans, cricket fans, NFL fans, NBA fans, right? So you can't get away from sport, but we do it every day and it's great.
Yeah. You love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see you've got a passion. It's massive buzzing there.
Yeah, there are certain teams that we won't work with, like Tottenham and Manchester United, because I hate them. As a Chelsea fan, it's just against my religion, quite frankly. But no, we if someone come to me with 80 million to spend with Manchester United, I would probably find a way to get that done.
Yeah.
Do you know he's given these figures that are very low figures, aren't they? Millions.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Pocket change.
No, exactly. But then that in itself is a problem for a club like Man United, right? Because how many businesses have got £80 million a year, by the way, to spend, and typically it's a 5-year deal, to spend on that, on a front of shirt sponsorship. It's a small group of brands, right at the very top. So yeah, it becomes more difficult. So we don't tend to do much with the top 6. It tends to be the rest of the Premier League. We do a lot of work in the Championship and the lower leagues. But it's just great.
And is it growing to, like you said, you have got a variety of sports, but is it growing to any, like if you had like this is how much I don't know, like a top league swimming team, for example, also, is there any end? Or?
Yeah, we work with snoots. We're about snooker. We were about to announce a deal with the world champion in darts, Michael
I was
Smith.
about to say, yes, Kelly, who is in here, just not on here today. She mentioned about the darts,
Yeah. So that's going to be announced in the next day or two, and so that's great. World champion, world number 1. So again, very good for us as well.
So is that the darts that comes here in Frimley Green?
Isn't that
Yeah, that's the other one, isn't it?
what's
PDA is the one that Michael Smith, the main one. I think
Lakeside?
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
That's the one.
I don't think they do the Lakeside. I think that's the other darts, the lesser known darts. We're talking about the darts on Sky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where you've got Michael Van Gerwen, Michael Price, Michael Smith. So that's basically where we're at. We've got some front of shirt deals we're also going to be announcing. We have lots going on, and that'll be announced over the next few weeks. But we are involved with the London Marathon, so we deal with them. But we also deal with martial arts in Asia, the One Championship, which is crazy, right? Because most people will never have heard of the One Championship, right? But they are essentially Asia's version of the UFC, and everyone knows who the UFC is, right? You've got Conor McGregor and all that. Go look at the numbers, right? The UFC is a baby compared to the One Championship, but no one's heard of it because it's all over in Asia, and obviously UFC are very good at marketing themselves. But yeah, they get something like 4 billion people watching their events. 4 billion.
Wow, that's half the
crazy.
population.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Global population. So because they travel all over Asia, right, from Thailand and China to even down to I think Australia. But we are there's nothing we wouldn't touch. It's more for us about what the brands want, right? So we could have a brand that comes to us tomorrow and says, Mike, we're interested in ice hockey in Finland, right? So we will then go and source that. So we'll go speak to the big ice hockey teams in Finland. We'll find out what's available, whether it's shirt, whether it's on the rink, whatever it is available, put the package together for the client, present that to them, and off we go. So, yeah, I mean, teams tend to come to us now rather than us going out.
That's amazing, and it shows how much you've grown and what you've been able to achieve. And now you're able to, like you say, if someone did come to you for that, you'd quite easily be able to get there without having to the amount of work you had to do in the beginning.
Yeah. The work at the beginning was what has created what we've got now.
Because say it's going to be like really tough, especially to a big brand trying to get in. Once you're in there, then
yeah. I mean, you don't start. Our first deal wasn't with Allianz, right? So we had to kind of build on that, and we get lucky because we land Allianz or whatever. And then we're able to grow from that, and we then get a Premier League front of shirt. So every time you do a deal of a certain size or a certain stature, the Michael Smith deal is not comparable to a Premier League front of shirt deal, but it's the world champion and the world number 1 that you're dealing with. So that in itself is a massive highlight for us, right? So that would that would stand up against a Premier League front of shirt in respect of you're dealing with the highest level.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it's all about for us. But we take great pride in our honesty. So we talked about not inflating prices, etc. Our data, we are data driven. It's got to be about the right deal.
They have to, if they're investing millions and millions, they need to see.
It doesn't even have to be millions. If we're dealing with a League Two club and the sponsorship's worth 20,000, we'll still go through the same process because it's got to be right. Because again, we're more interested in having a long-term relationship. We have told brands to walk away from deals because we didn't think they were right. For whether it was a case of the data told us it wasn't right, or whether we just felt the club weren't.
Well, that's good. Like the honesty is important, and if they've got that with you, if you're being honest and say, "Look, this isn't going to work for you," then then they've come to the right people.
It's a no-brainer, right? Because then that we're not after you for your money. That's really what that's really clear in the conversations we've had and the reputation that we've built.
It's more important.
You choose a football club in the top flight, Premier League down to League Two, any club you like, and go speak to them and ask about Elite. They'll have positive things to say about us. And that's not an ego trip. That is because we have built.
Well, I've seen on LinkedIn and other things. I have seen other people sort of whenever you put a post up, people saying, highly recommend. They looked after us. Really happy with everything we've had.
Yeah, so, and it's important to us, right? Like it is, I suppose, for any business. It's important to have that reputation. And for us, we live in an agency world where it's kill or be killed to a large extent. But we avoid all that because our reputation is so good. So we don't have to fight amongst, the rest.
Yeah.
We can pull ourselves away as saying, if you want to work with us, we'll tell you how to do it, how it's done properly. We'll give you the data to back it all up.
Yeah.
We've got this platform, which is unique in the world. When I built it like 3 years ago, I'm building it and I'm thinking, someone's already done this. Because it seems almost too simple to have a comparison website where you can see all the opportunities and you can see the data and you can download the presentations, you can see the fees and all this kind of stuff. And no one had. And every time we show it to a brand, they're blown away because they've not seen anything like it. I knew we were doing something right when I got a phone call and I looked at the number and it was some long number and it said South Korea. And I'm thinking, this is some dodgy scam call, right?
Yeah.
But like an idiot, I answered it. And it was actually the head of global sponsorship for a major motor company. I won't say who, but it's South Korea. There isn't that many. And he said, I've just got your platform. I've never seen anything like it. And at that point, we were like, we're onto something. We need to push this platform. It's a locked platform, so not anyone can go and see it because obviously we have to protect the clubs and their.
No, I saw you've got a video sort of saying this is what you could be seeing, what and explaining how it helps and
we've done a video for it, so you can actually see what it looks like. But obviously the data's protected,
of course.
So we're very careful about who we allow to see the platform. But it's been a game changer for us.
Oh, amazing! Oh, wonderful, Jack. I don't know if you have any more questions.
No, he's been pretty spot on.
You've just answered it all for us. Is there anything you want to throw in?
Yeah, if you know anyone with millions of pounds. Look, I love what I do. We love what we do, and that's the great thing about our team.
And you're on pretty much every social media platform. There's to contact, and
we are. LinkedIn. Kelly's come in, and Kelly's now sort of putting us on the TikToks and the Instagrams and the Facebooks, etc. Because our concentration has very much been on LinkedIn because that's where our clients live.
Yeah.
Essentially, I would say 90% of our deals have originated from conversations on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So I think if you get it right, like people will moan about LinkedIn, but that's depending on who you're connecting with. If all you're seeing is recruitment companies posting about what they had for breakfast, disconnect from the recruitment companies. It's not difficult, right?
I also think it depends on how much people know how to use it properly. I'm still not great with it. I'm not.
Well, I've got about 18,000 connections, and I think Elite Sports the company page is about the same, and then you've got the team all put together. It's probably another 20,000. So, and then all it takes is for me to post, and then someone likes it. Well, it'll go out to my network anyway of 18,000 people. But one person likes it, and everyone in their connection sees that, right? So you get an amazing kind of, and reputation is everything in our industry.
Absolutely.
And it's important to us. So but no, I think if I was to say anything, it's that we love what we do. I mean, we get up, we talk about sport all day, and we get paid for it.
You're living the dream.
Yeah, I can't.
You're living the dream. You love your sport. Yeah,
exactly. And it doesn't stop, and that's the other thing, because football has its seasons. But when the football season finishes, you're then talking to people about rugby, which starts later in the year, and then when that finishes, you're talking about cricket, and then when that finishes, you're back to football. So it never stops. It's it's all year round, and that's just if we're dealing with the UK, and we're not. So it's just crazy, but brilliant.
Well, thank you for sharing with us.
No problem.
Thank you, and thank you for coming in today.
No, fantastic venue.
I know it's lovely here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Logging Lounge Camberley.
Yeah, exactly. Bit of a plug. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex from SMJ Media Group, and I just want to say a big thank you to all our supporters that have bought us a coffee. Thank you to all the support that you've given us thus far. We've now introduced new membership options on our Buy Us a Coffee website. Being a member allows you to support us monthly, and it allows you to also publish on our many social media pages. Check out buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group. We blog regularly, so you can check out what we're up to. That's buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group.